Camera's still flaking off. So it's all over the place. All right, more stuff. All right, I'm continuing the CPR theme here. I've got some science links, but I will finish that. Red, white, and solar. 160,000 military homes to get rooftop solar arrays. It's not a bad thing. Again, it just struck me as, again, government putting money specifically into the military for green purposes. I don't know. It feels, again, cyberpunky. Glowing cats to help fight in AIDS. That's not exactly cyberpunk, but it's certainly the future. They've actually got cats that they've put the jellyfish, the glowing jellyfish gene in there. So these are actual cats. They're alive. They're real cats right now, like house cats. But they glow in the dark, basically. If you turn out the light, cat will glow green. And they've used that as a marker to fight, AIDS and cancer and that. But I don't know. I just thought, 2011, we have cats that glow in the dark. I think I mentioned about the patent reform there, or patent, whatever, patent. I can never get that one. I think I talked about that. America Invents Act, which basically removes any obligation to actually figure out who invented it first. It's whoever files it first. So that's like the Patriot Act, which is basically the Spy on Your Neighbor Act. Anyway, God, Nazi Germany. That's where America's going. Once and future AT&T. That was interesting, just in that, again, people who know history, AT&T became this huge monopoly. It got broken up. All the various, we got mobile phones, all that shit. Now AT&T wants to merge again and form which again, it's just, and that's normal. It might be perfectly fine for it to merge. But then in 10 years, 20 years, we'll have to split it up again. It just, that's the way it goes. Algorithmic trading to replace humans in the stock market. Basically, most trading on the stock market, I think the majority of the volume of the actual trading on the stock market is done by computers now. They're basically just going, this is undervalued by a cent, we make 1 million transactions, we make 1 million cents, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, it's nonsense because it increases volatility and it does a whole crap load of bad things, which everybody knows. But anyway, that'll be part of the next financial meltdown. FBI teaching agents that mainstream Muslims are violent radical. That whole article is insane. You should look that up. It's like current FBI agents in basic training are being trained that all Muslims, like literally, they state explicitly, like, your local Muslim family is completely peaceful, whatever. Well, they probably have links to extremism, and all the rest of it. It's white, upper class FBI agent people are the only, again, it's degenerate, basically. I mean, it shows that society is not going the right way. I think I talked about Mexico. There's more people killed for using the internet to report on narco crime. Again, Mexico is basically a failed state. It's a complete war zone, except for the tourist rim where my parents still go, amazingly. UBS rogue trader loses $2 billion in authorized trades. I'll just sum that up by, like one commenter said, I'm sure that guy was making plenty of trades and making plenty of money for his company until he takes a big loss, and then, of course, he becomes a rogue trader. Again, how else? He's got, what? He can just access $2 billion in corporate money. They always say it's like, essentially it's a computer program, like I used to use at tech support, and they basically type in, so I, if I was using that, I could just type in $2 billion. Boop! You know what I mean? Like, that's obviously insane. You can easily set it up so that, I guess this guy had an unlimited limit, which means what? He could bet the entire company on his trades? Anyway, that kind of thing, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it literally doesn't make any sense from what you read in the paper, so obviously it's a scam or corporate maneuvering, basically. Oh, that was another one that just struck me as kind of symbolic. The Washington Monument closed indefinitely. From that unusual, well, it's been happened before, but an eastern coast of the U.S. earthquake took down, but it just struck me again, cyberpunk. Washington Monuments closed, Patriot Act, America Invents Act. You see my theme here. It just feels like it. It's totally. Photos from North Korea's mass games. That was just interesting because North Korea is still, doing its thing. But what I noticed again was what one commenter mentioned is how thin everybody is. I mean, they're very attractive looking in a way. I mean, they're not super. They're not. Well, you're seeing it from a distance and everything, but they're probably right on the edge of healthy to a little too thin kind of thing. But I'm just saying it's kind of pleasing as opposed to looking down and seeing these massive 300-pound Americans rolling around like giant pigs. Anyway, but just a weird thing. Again, North Korea is still doing its all sympathy to the actual people of North Korea. I don't think their leaders can hold on for. I think in 20 years. I mean, they're going to die of old age or some disease. So hopefully that'll cause some change there. Another one about the Occupy Wall Street. NYC transit union workers and Michael Moore expresses, man, people, the backlash against Michael Moore, man, so intense. Like, I'd say he's probably a very highly effective member of the left just because of the incredible vitriol he brings out in just about anybody who isn't an actual supporter of his. Insane. Let's see. Oh, and another wheel going round kind of one here. They're basically kind of restricting the Dutch, cannabis coffee shop type thing. They're kind of cracking down that. Which to me, again, I was kind of like, wow, what is this? Like, kind of that was a bit of a beacon of sanity in the sense that, everybody knows that cannabis is basically harmless if you don't take it when you're, like, young because it fucks up your brain chemistry. Anyway, but it's a classic symbol, right? I mean, cannabis stuff is becoming loosened in the West and sort of the Western mainstream, but it's cracking down a little bit where it's just the cycle going around again. Okay, I don't need that. Well, everything else I got is pretty much more sciencey, I guess, but I still have another 2 minutes. U.S. seeks to ban electronic cigarettes on airplanes. No, that's appropriate. That's, again, a new thing. Electronic cigarettes, I read up on them. They sound great. They basically allow you to smoke without inhaling smoke. So you just get straight up nicotine, or, of course, you can use it to, inhale, ingest THC or whatever. But they're pretty much perfect, as far as I can tell. And I've never seen any actual logical argument against them. But U.S. seeks to ban them on planes. I don't know why. Again, they don't even emit, like, you basically puff out a little bit of vapor, but it doesn't even smell. It's basically water vapor. As you're just, though, again, I don't know about on planes, but the e-cigarette seems like a tremendous boon against cancer. But the thing is, I think it threatens the traditional tobacco companies, right? I mean, even though they have to, I think they lead the tobacco. Well, it would change the form. And again, the system seeks to fight any variation on the form, always. Evaluating the doofus factor in corporate governance, I'm a little bit, I don't know, I just don't find, like, it talks about how Yahoo has they're spooked as being cast by the worst board in the country, so they fired Carol Bartz as chief executive, blah, 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 all this kind of thing. Growing demand for boards to undergo a formal evaluation process. I always find this ridiculous when they attempt to fix something like this with regulations. We require an independent evaluation of the board every 3 years. Come on! I mean, come on! You know what they're going to do. The people that are in charge of getting evaluated, all of which who have millions and millions of dollars, are going to hire people, by hook or by crook, to form that freaking committee, which will then rubber stamp their being on the committee and everything's hunky-dory. Like, it's stupid. That kind of thing never works. It's been tried for thousands of years. It's stupid. It's like saying, people are doing X. Let's pass a law, as if the law will just magically, like to get rid of prostitution, as if it will actually do anything. It's just, I want things to change. I'm tired of the stupid stuff. All right, that seems to be my time, so I will talk to you all later.